All right, what's up, family? Yeah, we're gonna do this video here for everyday homeowners. Any homeowner out there, I would highly encourage you, do a lot of stuff yourself. That's why we're gonna touch on this video here, dealing with everyday tasks around your house that you can do yourself. You do not have to always call a contractor for them to overcharge you and scam you when you could do yourself. It's something that I've said so many times before, where I say, it's a great feeling when you say to yourself, I fixed that, meaning you. You go, I fixed that. I improved that. I repaired that. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm gonna title this video here, Fix It. You could do it yourself. It's just that simple. I'm telling you, a lot of things you can do yourself. Watch this. I'm gonna start it out with a simple one. It's the reason I'm in this backyard. See all this forest back here? Trust me when I tell you, you best believe there's all kind of bugs, spiders, centipedes, all kind of stuff back here, right? You think I don't get bugs in the house? Of course we do. But see, you could prevent that. You don't have to always call a contractor. See, I know especially a lot of women, right? Especially a lot of people, period. We watch all these silly movies, and these silly movies wind up having us a little creepy, scary, itchy. Like, oh my God, look at that, I'm tired of these bugs. I'm sick of these bugs. Why is these bugs coming out all that? I know I keep my house clean, right? You say stuff like that, right? I know I'm keeping my house clean. Why all of a sudden these bugs? Well, it's the reason, like I said. Look, when you got foliage and all that back here, you're gonna get that. But not only that, you must understand how bugs operate. See, bugs, they normally start coming out around May to April. See, that once the season changes, once you know this, now you start to know how to handle it. See, around March to April, that's when bugs, they start coming out of their hibernation. They start coming up out of the trees, coming out of the ground. They need to now multiply. They searching for foliage, meaning food and stuff. They want to mate. The temperature, once the temperature gets a little warmer for them, they start coming out like crazy. And that's when you start seeing them around. You start tripping out like, oh my God, what are these bugs driving me crazy? So even when you look it up, like it says, when is the best time to spray for bug prevention? That will be early spring. So these are simple things you can do. Another thing I would add with that is to tell anybody, you should do a perimeter around your house with that bug spray, but you should also do one for termites. You should do one for termites every 6 months. If you don't I do every 6 months? Not really, but I do once a year. You should at least do once a year. Do one because you don't want that bug. See, all other bugs you could tolerate even though you don't want to, but that termite will literally eat you out of a house. Remember like the old cartoons like Popeye and stuff like that? Them bugs will literally eat your house up. So at least, folks, take my word for it, every 6 months, do a perimeter. If 6 months too much for you, at least once a year. At least once a year, you go get you some termite treatment. You put it all up against your house, around the whole perimeter of your house. So like I said, title of the video, Fix It. You could do it yourself. Now I'm gonna move on to some stuff inside of the house, because there's a lot of everyday things you can do yourself. All right, folks, here's something else. Everyday fixes you can do yourself. Now, this would be my heating and cooling. Do you know? A lot of people out there know this, but there are a few people that don't. And that is changing your air filter. Now, that's my wife here. Now, look, you know how to change the air filter, right?
Yeah.
It is real simple, right? You just pull that out. See, ours is horizontal. See, now some people, let me explain to some of you people out there. Like I said, I gotta say this again. I know some people out there go, oh, this is silly, man, I know how to do that. But there are some people that don't. So we're trying to help those that don't. Your air filter will be up under there, and it's real simple, see, and you put it back nice and easy, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell some of y'all, some of your air filters, it may be horizontal. Some of them may be vertical, right? Pull it out again, Remember in our other house, it was vertical, right? And not only was it vertical, which means we had to put it in like this. Not only was it vertical, it was in back of our heating and cooling system, which meant I had to get on the floor on my back, and I had to slide back there, and in the back of it, I had to vertically put it back in. See, sometimes it's like that. So that's what you need to do. Another thing I want to tell y'all, you see this type of filter we got? We got a reusable one. I've had this for years. Now you can go out and buy the ones at your local hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, or wherever else you get them from. You could do that, and they're gonna cost. They're not expensive, but some can be expensive. But still, it don't matter what the price. If you buy those, you're gonna keep buying them constantly. But what we do, we get the reusable one. And what I mean by the reusable one, this here, when it gets dirty, you just take it outside, rinse it off. I soap it off as well, and you can reuse it.
Exactly.
Let me show you that. All right, folks, so here's the part where, like I said, the reusable filter. You simply just, that's the good thing about this one. You just rinse it out. Put a good cleaning solution on it, and then you just spray it out. And you can keep reusing this over and over. You don't have to keep buying another one, buying another. It doesn't matter that you bought the cheap ones.
This is just soap and water.
Just soap and water. You could buy the expensive ones, you could buy the cheap ones, but one thing you're still doing is spending money. With this reusable one, you just put a good soap cleaning solution on it, rinse it out. Put a little bit of pressure to that, man. Come on, let's be for real now. That's not gonna, yeah, like that. There you go. And then hold it up, actually. The screen. So that way it go through. And this wasn't dirty because we had already cleaned. I'm just showing you. This is reusable. You use this 100 times, 1,000 times. And it's that simple, folks. You don't have to keep buying another one and another one and another. Now, obviously, you let this dry before you put it back in your HVAC. And that's that simple. That's done. I mean, you can still do it, but now you just sit it out and let it dry. Now, remember what I told you guys. Your HVAC could be in a number of places. It could be in your basement. Most common place is in people's basement. But you might live in a place like Florida where most people don't have basements. Then there's a good chance your HVAC, meaning it's going to be somewhere like in a closet, somewhere in your house. Or it's going to be in your attic if you have an attic. If you don't have an attic, it's going to be in your ceiling. So just keep that in mind. Now you need to find out, where's your filter? Is it behind your HVAC? Meaning you got to climb it back or get up under it. Is it on the side? Is it in the front? Is it horizontal or is it vertical? All the little simple things. Remember, you can do it yourself. What's the title of the video? Fix it. You could do it yourself. Drop me some comments of things you want to know how to fix, and I'll help you with those as well. All right, people.
It actually tells you clean monthly.
Oh, it does. See, ain't that something?
Clean
See?
monthly. It
I like
gives you little instructions.
Let me zoom in there for you.
Right here. Clean
Oh.
monthly.
See, I do it often, but I never even looked at that. You
And
see?
it also shows you the arrows of when you put it back.
Is that in Spanish or
No.
arrow? That's in Spanish, or yeah, it said English and Spanish and
English
some
and
other.
Spanish.
Let me see again. It's in a
Yeah.
couple of different languages. Yeah, she's right. Yeah, at the bottom, clean monthly, and then it's in Spanish and other languages as well. Yeah, real simple things you guys could do yourself. All right, folks. Please.
My question to you is that when you buy a house, you really want to know every little detail about
Yes.
this? Because the day that you want to change, you're saying, oh my goodness, but where's it at?
Where's the
So then you
filter?
got to go crazy. In my opinion, if I was by myself, I would take notes and put a little bit of for
Details,
especially
explanation.
older people that they do forget. It's good
Great
to get notes,
explanation.
Especially if you don't want papers all around it.
Good
Go get
job.
your panel, where all your notes is, and you just put it right there. I would label it like that.
I like that how you say it. Even for older folks, sometimes they can't get to it. Like I said, the one I had to climb on my back and get in the back of it. It was in our crawl space. Sometimes your HVAC, most of the time it may be in your basements, but you might be in a climate where you don't have basements. Another place it'll be up in your ceilings. Sometimes, I've been in some houses where the HVAC is up literally in the ceiling. Not that they don't have an attic. Some are in the attics. But when they don't have an attic, sometimes this unit will be up in that ceiling. So that means now you have to get a ladder and you have to get up there and change the filter. Now, why you want to change the filter? The reason you want to change the filter is because sometimes you're not getting efficient airflow. Your AC is not getting as cold as you know it normally get. Your heat is not coming out as much. Sometimes that simple dirty filter is causing you a bunch of problems, and simply changing it or putting a new one in will fix your problem.
And most important, this is what I do, and that's what I think. Dusting. Make sure you dust your windows, dust your house, because sometimes those are little tiny insects where they want to find a little home so they can put their little eggs and all that, because there's so much dust.
Absolutely, good point.
You'd be surprised.
Yes. All right, folks, here's another easy fix that we hear and see all too often. Although there's many, if you guys have some other ones you want me to help you with, put it in the comments and I'll show you how to fix those as well, if I don't already have a video of it. But how about your door? Your simple door. How many times y'all open your door and the door is that squeaking, annoying squeaking noise? Open the door so you see. Just let it fly open. Look. Isn't that annoying? That's a simple fix. You just get some WD-40 and you just oil your hinges. That's all it is, folks. Oil it on both sides. Boom. And you do the next one.
And you get a rag, right?
Yes. That's all it is. Yeah, you get that rag because otherwise it's be dripping. Let me see if we get this in here. Boom. Little WD-40. That's all it is, folks. Simple fixes. Let me say the title of the video. Fix it. You could do it yourself. Now, folks, now let's see. No more squeaking. You see? Close it again. No more squeaking. You see, folks? These are simple, everyday fixes you can do yourself. Let's move on to something else. Now, let's say you have a leak up under your sink. That's something real common, right? Please cut the light on. How many times we've had a leak up under the sink, right? Simple everyday fixes. Now, just explain to you guys, this is what's called a P-trap. The whole purpose of a P-trap is to prevent, this part here is to prevent fumes from coming back up in your house. That's why there's always a little bit of water in there. That's the purpose of a P-trap. So if you didn't know, now you know. So when you letting water go down here, it takes everything out and sends it out to the sewer or whatever, your separator. But there's always a little bit of water left in here, and that prevents fumes from coming back up in your house.
And then
so, go ahead.
And I'm sorry. Then the most recommendable is not to put so much stuff in it where there's
clutter, because just in case you ever did have a leak, you don't want to have damage under here. Now, if you ever did have a leak, which this happens to a lot of people, you have a little leak in here. Sometimes you can fix this yourself, folks. What I would highly advise anyone to do before calling a contractor, try to watch videos like this. Try to do it yourself. You'll be really amazed at yourself and impressed at yourself that you did it yourself. I will keep saying this to y'all. You're going to say, I did that, meaning you. And a lot of times all this needs is a little adjusting. So what I would advise a lot of y'all to do, put on a nice pair of good gloves, not latex gloves, but a good pair like hardware gloves, you know, that has a nice grip. And all you would need to do is see this one here. A lot of times, all you got to do is either tighten one of these. One of these is where your leak is coming from, see? That's your problem. If you have a leak there, you just put on a nice pair of good gloves that got a good fit to it, and you would just tighten that. Now remember, key thing for a lot of y'all, if you didn't know, and a lot of y'all do know, but let's go with the ones that don't know. Remember, how do you know if it's tightening? Tighty, righty. Loosey, lefty. Let me say it one more time for y'all. Tighty, righty. Anytime, anything you tighten is turning to the right. That's why they say tighty, righty. Anything you're loosening, you're turning to the left. Loosey, lefty. All right? So put on a good pair of gloves and tighty, righty, loosey, lefty. And that's how you will fix a lot of that if it ain't something more major than that. If it is, find a video that fits your problem and you can fix it yourself. I'll give you guys, like I said, you can't possibly name everything. If you guys got something that you want to ask me how to fix this, fix that, put it in the comments and I'll go through that. But I'll give you one more for now. I'll give you one more obvious one. For any and all homeowners, what I would highly advise any and all homeowners, get yourself a wet vac. The reason you want to get yourself a wet vac, for multiple reasons. This thing here will solve a lot of your problems as well. Now, we know it's a vacuum. You know, it could vacuum your carpet. It could vacuum your laminate floors. It could vacuum your ceramic floors. It could vacuum up a lot of places. But that's this whole main purpose. It vacuums. But this could be your mini plumber as well. Let's say one of your kids, I remember one of my buddies, his son put some of his toys in the toilet, clogged up the toilet. I put this thing in there, took the headpiece off, and put all the tubing part down it. That's why it's called a wet vac. And I put this down in the toilet and it sucked up all that water and it sucked up all his son's toys. Didn't have to call a plumber. So like I said, this is like your mini plumber. This will, when somebody spills something in the house, you know, this could vac that up. If you got a issue up under your sink, issue with your toilet, you got to get all the water out. This is something you definitely should have in your house. You're a homeowner, you should have this. Now, you can get the big one, you can get the little one, but whichever one you get, just get one. It's a great thing to have for all homeowners to have this. Like I said, it's a multitude of these things. Take it outside and vacuum out your car, vacuum out your house, vacuum out plumbing issues you got in your house, but definitely have one. Once again, you'll thank me later. And you'll be thanking yourself, proud of yourself to say that you fixed that little toilet problem. You fixed that leak under the sink. Simple things. Like I said, I'm going to say it one more time. If there's any other things you guys want me to explain to you how to fix or how to address, drop it in the comments. And I'll be more than happy to help you out. Peace.